Inertia. Things in motion tend to stay in motion unless some outside force is acting upon them. Why am I talking about that? Because whatever type of SAT question you're doing, you got to get started, and that helps to keep the ball rolling. My name is Paul Pasolka, Ivy Masters Learning Center and ivymasters.com, and today we're going to look at Test 3, Section 1, number 48, which reads, the main purpose of the fourth paragraph, line 42 to 50, is to what? So if you're like, purpose, what's that? Just get the main idea. Usually that'll lead you to the correct answer. How does a purpose question differ? You got to think how it fits within the context of the entire passage and what point the author's making. So we go to 48 to 42 to 50 over here, and we have this hypothesis can be tested by a trial wherein a small number of commercial honeybees colonies are offered a number of perithrum producing plants as well as typical bee food source such as clover, while controls are offered only the clover. So this hypothesis, what's it talking about? Well, in the last paragraph it was talking about too much perithrum could be toxic to the bees, and it's probably best left up to the bees to decide how much perithrum they need, because if they don't have enough, then they get mites. That's the hypothesis. It's talking about testing out the hypothesis. Mites could then be introduced into each hive with note made as to the choice of the bees and the effects of the mite parasites on the experimental colonies versus the control colonies. Looks like they're proposing an experiment to test the hypothesis that the amount of perithrum food that the bees eat is best left up to the bees. Let's see what answer choice best matches that. Answer choice A, summarize the results of an experiment that confirm the author's hypothesis about the role of clover in the diet of wild-type honeybees. Well, actually, it's not summarizing the results, it's just proposing the experiment. Answer choice B, oh yeah, so it actually uses the word propose. Propose an experiment to investigate how different diets affect commercial honeybee colonies' susceptibility to mite infestations. That looks good. Maybe we'll give some all perithrums, we'll give some no perithrums, and we'll let some choose between the perithrum and the other plants. Let's see why it's not C. Provide a comparative nutritional analysis of honey produced by the experimental colonies and by the control colonies. It's not talking about collecting their honey and testing it. That would be like, hey, give these bees all perithrum, give these no perithrum producing plants to eat, and give these the choice, and let's analyze their honey, what the quality of their honey is as a result of that. Answer choice D, predict the most likely outcome of an unfinished experiment summarized in the third paragraph, lines 19 to 41. Now if we go to the third paragraph, I don't want to spend 19 to 41's gigantic paragraph. This is all what they're thinking. This is what they're hypothesizing about honeybees. And one of the things they do say at the end is what I mentioned before. The dosage necessary of perithrum to prevent mite infestations may be better left to bees, who may seek out or avoid perithrum-containing plants depending on the amount necessary to defend against mites and the amount already consumed by the bees, which in higher doses could be potentially toxic to them. What's the beginning part of the paragraph talking about? They're just introducing that bees that suffer from colony collapse disorder that might have too many mites might not have enough perithrums in their diet, and so they should feed on perithrums every once in a while, and then if they don't, they might become immunocompromised and nutritionally deficient, and then they might die, or if they're only given one type of food, and then it's talking about a secondary infection, and when you introduce insecticides, they may be for their weekend. So answer choice D, predict the most likely outcome in an unfinished experiment. Well, that paragraph did not finish an experiment. It's just talking about the plight of the honeybees, like their situation, and then the experiment, the proposed experiment, is introduced in line 42 to 50. Thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, click like. You can share it with someone who has trouble with these giant purpose questions based on the paragraph, or just purpose questions. there's any question you'd like to see answered from any official PSAT or SAT or ACT, leave that in the comments. I'd be happy to shoot a video on it. And click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Have a great day.